Welcome to Support Surviving Fentanyl. We're going to do what we always do around this time, right? What is that? We're going to sit down. We're going to tell you our vision. We're going to start the conversation. I have some time-sensitive things that I need the Valley to unify with us on, right? We want to start helping people. We want to start helping them right now. And right now is the moment for help and love and, us as humanity just coming together. But first and foremost, we want to give a shout out to Occasions by LG. They did our backdrop. They did our lights. They came through. They set the whole thing up. If you want your event done the same way, go to Instagram. They use the @ Occasions by LG. They'll answer within 24 hours. The website will be up before the end of the week. And if you just want an amazing, elegant event, give them a shot. I promise you won't be disappointed. I give them all 5 stars all the way around the board. Now, let's get into our regular program.
Support surviving fentanyl. We still matter.
You still matter.
Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to Support Surviving Fentanyl. Today we're going to address a couple things. Once again, we want to give a shout out to Occasions by LG. And as I said in the promo right before the video, that the website will be up soon. I'm going to display that right now for you guys. Once again, they did our backdrop. Came through, fed us, real hospitality, real personable, just good old business and good people. And I got what I wanted at the budget that I wanted to do it at. So if you're looking for a good experience then like I say, I'm gonna display the name of the website. You guys go ahead and jump on that. Get your spots now, man, because she's gonna be booked. She's already booked a lot, and she doesn't even have a website. Just released her DM or whatever, just all word of mouth, and she's pretty booked. So now with the advertisement, with us helping and her helping us, things are gonna get hectic. So if you guys want a piece of that or want to be involved in that, then you guys need to jump on that right now. So as far as Support Surviving Fentanyl, I want to make it clear again that we help all substance abuse, right? We're just a family, a group, and we want to be there through the process of recovery and seeking sobriety. SSF, I want you guys to understand that SSF stands for strength, serenity, and freedom. Because if you get the strength to get the serenity, then you become free. So if it ain't SSF, Support Surviving Fentanyl, it's strength, serenity, and freedom for all on this journey. We're going to do a t-shirt push, right? We're gearing up for this. Is going to be my biggest promotion. We're going to market this. We're going to actually get some professionals behind us to help us and show us how to get the word out. But I want to show you real quick the merch and what you're going to be receiving if you donate. Hold on. To join us. We want the community behind us. It's the world's fastest growing nonprofit, and I'm overqualified. So we plan on making some changes to people who are people. We've written curriculum on dealing with overdoses and withdrawals from trying to quit. We've been at work, right? We got the newsletter coming up. The newsletter will be soon. Just going over the final edits. If you guys didn't know, I'm writing a book up to what led me to this point in my life, to where I would even be in this situation, because it was a time in my life that I thought that the little city that I was from was everything, and I wasn't never ever going to leave there. I wasn't ever going to try to do nothing else. I was happy. I felt like my man said on Paid in Full, they feeling me out here, B. So I was totally content with living there and dying there in that. And in my book, I said one thing is about selling out culture. That's an understatement, man. We sold drugs to our mothers, you know, like what kind of man, what kind of person, what kind of human would do that? And I look dead at you and say that this kind of a human. All right, because you only can live life the way you understand it till your understanding becomes better. So with that being said, we want to get into the campaign and what we're going to be doing with it, right? We're going to set a very, very small goal, right? We want to get 500 donations at $20 a piece. For your $20, you'll get a free t-shirt and a free wristband. I just showed you guys that thing, and I guess now's a good time to display our website and show you where to go do this at. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible, to where it won't be no confusion on how to do it, where it's going, and if you're doing it to the right people. I want to say congratulations to our YouTube team. We finally hit 1,000 subscribers and climbing. We got to work on our TikTok, get that up a little bit more. But everything that we're doing right now is just all off love and people just feeling us and supporting us, because we haven't really spent a penny on promotion, on marketing. All our money has been spent on equipment, to film, on families, and giving back. So with the water drive that we're going to do, it's only one other element that I want to make sure that we put in there, and it's personal hygiene for women for their monthly menstruational cycle. When we were out there last time, that was one of the things that I realized that was really needed, right? The women out there didn't have that, and we only came with a little bit of that, because I don't know why. I just didn't think that was that. I guess that's the man in me. I didn't know how important that was, but now being done it and seen, I see that that's an area that we can always help in. And we're going to focus on that too, on the water drive. We're going to break this down into 4 sections of Phoenix, the Valley. We're going to do North. No. I'm sorry. We're going to do East and West Phoenix, then North and South Phoenix, and then we'll break down and hit other spots in the Valley, like Glendale, Peoria, Avondale. And I know what you're thinking, like, these places don't. Yes, they do. They have this problem there. It's to the keen eye. So if you're aware, you see it everywhere. But if you're not aware, you're blind. You don't see it at all, right? So we want to do that. That's our number one mission right now. And then that hopefully will catapult us into the tents. I've been looking at tents. I found some very affordable to give out or whatever, just to get out the sun. Because one thing about Arizona, it's hot, miserably hot. But if you do get out the sun with a little bit of shade, it's makeable, it's doable. We want to start on our water drive. And then these steps are going to take us into our personal hygiene drive. and all the other things that we want to do. I got a concept for mobile showers drawn up. I wish an engineer or somebody would look at it and tell me what they think, if they think that it will work. Because it has to be sufficient. They have to be able to get in, get out, chat, and then do it privately. And then we're going to be doing this in public, so we have to do it respectfully, right? All those things. I've got the van. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't have just the whole philosophy of it, and a lot of this I'm just doing out of my top of my head. So if you out there want to come in and help on anything, please do so. If you see us slipping anywhere, if you feel like, well, that ain't right, that should come in, come join us. We're open to those things. We're not saying that we know everything. We're just saying that we're going to tie our shoes up and get out and fight. Overdose numbers are still eradicating, going higher and higher and higher. Man, and it's a shame, you know. I think the last one I read was 14. Young lady OD'd, first time using. And I want to say something about the first time using thing. I mean, you know, in respect to all the families or whatever, you know, that sounds good. But I don't think you just start out with a drug that drastic for your first drug. I think the word is out that it's dangerous. So I don't think that you would necessarily need to do those things. You know, you start off taking a sip of a wine cooler and then a joint, and then, you know, you might try a line of cocaine or something, but you just don't start off with nothing as drastic as fentanyl. And that's what we're being led to believe. I feel like it's a marketing campaign going on. Adam 22, Drake. If you go through our YouTube channels, I got a couple clips where I show, and then I ask, hey man, we don't need the promotion, because they make a joke about it, but they make it seem cool, right? And it isn't a plain matter or anything. Like, we don't play about the war in Ukraine or the people that we lost in the Desert Storm War or anything. And this is no difference. It's just chemical warfare. We're going to be looking into getting in a building. We want to have a facility. Right now, we don't want to house and we don't want to administer the curriculum or the discipline. Well, we don't want to be part of the infrastructure of the day-to-day with let me think how I'm trying to say this, process of detox and going to rehab, right? We want to be that extra support system that comes in and helps you stay on track. Like, okay, we have some great facilities in the Valley that helps out with these things, but what we want to do is we want to come hold your hand, be your family, someone to call when you need to call someone. Because I talk about all these things because I've been through them, right? When I was in a place like that, you had people that didn't have no one to call. It was cigarette day. You can get a pack of cigarettes, nobody brought them, or they might have fast food day or you know, just family day, because you're in there for you've committed for 3 months, 6 months, and some people don't have nobody to show up for. We want to be that. We want to be that shoulder to lean on to get you there. We want to be the company that comes in afterwards, that where you're not just riding home with an Uber and the Uber driver just so happens to say, okay, you can you know, you're just riding home with the random Uber driver. We want even the ride home to be orchestrated, right? To where it's somebody in the front seat who's aware of what you're going through, the challenges, and to keep you on track. Because once you cross that threshold into addiction, drug use, and then you have a hard time getting off of it, what ends up happening is everything becomes a trigger, and then people don't understand it, right? So I had a guy who I took home from a rehab place, and any wrong little thing I did, it would have been on. Like if I would have just said, "Hey, let's turn the corner," and he had money, right? Because sometimes their families or whatever, and they stack their money while they're in there, and they're on Social Security or whatever the case may be. They come out with some money, and then so you tell a Uber driver, "Hey man, I just got out of rehab, bro. I'll throw you extra $20 tip, man. Just stop out here, then drop me off, right?" And the Uber driver, he just want to make his extra $20, but when he stops over there, what ends up happening is you've just sent this man back to a whirlwind of what he's just spent months trying to get out of. So we want to be that support system to come in right after rehab and come hold your hand, all right, and aftercare, and then just being there through the whole journey, starting work groups to where we have a community to reach out to each other to, a real organic one. Also, I want to make it easy to be able to get your license, your ID, to get back incorporated into the real world. Because in America, cities, an identification card and a social security card are the number 2 steps to employment, housing, and owning an automobile. So if you're going to really take that leap, that's an essential step, right? If you really want to get out of rehab and really get things back going, we want to put together a program for the men out there who may have lost custody of their kids, may have lost touch with their children and things like that. We want to be able to come in and help those people, right? And, be there, man. I think that's where we got to start, is being there. The newsletter, hopefully we can get some people joined on there to get the conversation going. We're open to your ideals. Only thing that it supports surviving fentanyl that we're saying for sure is that it's a problem. We want to start doing bigger things. Like, man, I want to do, so we got a lot of parks in the valley, start having a day to where addicts can bring their kids and into a drug-free zone, even if it's for an hour and a half. If the kid's in foster care, the auntie has them or whatever, they can bring them and see their mom and dad in a healthy spot, give them things like tokens and money, and just have that experience with your children. Because once the addiction is over and everything is done, you're gonna think about your kids. You're gonna hate yourself for not being there for them. So that's one of the things. But we got a lot more interviews and things coming up. We've got some shot. We do have to edit them, get them out. And then we want to display the interviews. Because what we're doing right now is I want to be more intentional with the information that we're displaying, what we're letting get out. And now it's time to drive our motive and our direction. So we're going to start doing that, like I said last time, and that's going to happen by controlling the environment in which we're shooting in. Things like that. We've done a lot of addict interviews, and usually I just let them talk. I talk with them. I get emotional. I get fired up too. So we want to start speaking to the answer. The addict who's beat it. We need his message out. We need the counselor who's seen 10, 20, 30 times the same thing happen, the same person come through the door. And I'm working with someone in rehab right now, and they've been in rehab several times and failed every time. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to document the steps, right? And we're just going to watch them, and then we're going to identify where's this relapse coming in at, and then try to change that and see if that helps. I feel like any child that's 12, 13, 14 years old that is using fentanyl and wants to do drugs at that degree doesn't dream. He doesn't know how to dream. He doesn't have one. One thing with me is because of my learning disability and everything, my mother always taught me to have a dream. She always taught me I can do anything I wanted to do. And she just always was that person in my life. Everybody doesn't get that. And like I said, we grew up like that too. Like I say, I am that kid that, when if you're a hustler and mother sells you the food stamps and you see the little kids when you go over there to pick up the bridge card, I'm that little kid in the back playing. I'm the kid that took the, food you taking out of my mouth. And the crazy thing is I did the same thing as a drug dealer. We're going to do an episode on me and just where I got my inspiration from. Where does all this come from? Why? Because in this, I am living my dream, right? I want to be an entrepreneur. So, a nonprofit is a business. It has a book. It has, you got to keep up with the numbers. You got to make sure you're dispensing the money right. You got to make sure you're spending it right. You got to watch budgets. You got to pay bills. You got to pay your staff. So in this, I'm getting my fulfillment of wanting to be an entrepreneur. I have a set of people directly that I know when I get my first bag who exactly I'm going to help. But we'll get into all that in another episode or shot or whatever you want to call it. Right now, we want to just speak about identifying fentanyl, knowing what it is. Your kids should know what fentanyl is. Your kids should know if they see a piece of aluminum foil with black burn spots on it, that's hazardous waste. Somebody left a comment on my page last time under the last interview I did with the Narcan, and they said, man, this was the most worthless shit I've ever seen in my life. You ain't even tell what it did, but they only watched the short. I thought I told what it did, but if I didn't, I want to clear that up. Narcan is a substance, a drug used for overdoses, to bring you back from an overdose. I just don't know how to break that down. No, clear. Narcan is used for overdoses. If you identify someone having an overdose, you have some Narcan, you lay them on their back, you squirt 2 shots up their nose, keep them laying on their back. At this time, at the beginning of identifying the overdose, the first thing you want to do is, it goes like this: identify, alert, meaning 911, lay on back, administer, and then wait for help to come. You don't want them on their stomach, and that's where you want to stop at until some professionals or pros get there. You don't want to, don't get cute. Just wait. The Valley is used to overdoses, so they have a certain call, a certain alarm that they let off for that. So it will be answered promptly, and I have to believe that for my sanity. Fentanyl has crept into the work environment. It has crept into the home. It has crept into the school. And it's going to take us as a community to wake up and say, hey, this isn't right. We have data, we have experience of where drug culture leads us. And it's time to address it early. I want to start talking to young black men about prison, about reform, about about doing things to get money and living the lifestyle that you want to live, that you can do without selling drugs. See, we just look at it as that's one avenue, but you got to understand. And I ask myself this question: if I was okay, if I was rich, if I was famous, and I just had everything that you could possibly want in this life, all the riches, all the gold, would I be okay seeing the world suffer? So we really aren't built to see the world. So we don't really want that. But in the drug game, that's how you address everything. It's about me, forget everybody else or whatever. But at some point, it has to be about us. And I ain't pointing no fingers or talking to them because I'm part of that. That's the guys I seen be successful come through my neighborhood. So only by nature, we tend to want to be successful like them. So what I'm asking is, let's show our youth people being successful with other things. Let's get away from entertainment. Let's get away from the entertainment bug and drug bug and is the same. And when I say entertainment, I'm talking sports, music, video, movie, whatever. Like a lot of people, I'm pretty sure the cameraman on Love and Hip Hop had just as much fun as the cast, right? And made money just like them people too. So many other jobs, so many other things to do. The young black man, if I had a message for them, it would be that if a real friend, you don't have to prove your loyalty to by your life, right? Because if you're my real friend, I'm not going to put your life on the line. I'm not going to ask you to go do something that might get you killed. I'm not going to ask you to do something that might get you to go to prison for 30 years or 40 years. I'm not your friend if I'm doing those things. So don't be surprised if in that, it's betrayal, if it's backstabbing and all that, because you're on that trajectory already. I don't see how a man can go serve his mother, his auntie, his cousin, his next door neighbor, his best friend's mom with some poison or drugs or whatever, and then come back and say, but to you, I'm going to be real. I'm killing my own mom. Like, the signs are right there for who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. We just have to wake up to it. The other, thing is, when you really break down the math and everything, drug dealers don't even make money. The best part about selling drugs is the freedom, right? You get to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. Now, if we can create some jobs with that same niche, but it's positive and adding to the community, then it is what it is, right? That becomes the same job. It's funner. If I would have known what I know now, I feel like I would have accomplished what I accomplished and been able to hold on to some of the things. But because of the route I went down, none of it is mine, and I've always had to start over afterwards. Prison isn't a place for human. That should be in prison should be people who do unhuman things, right? But in this life, drug dealers get more time than anybody. It's time for us to say, okay, we see it, let's quit. And I'm not saying like, oh, let's demand and all that. No, just common sense. Let's just use common sense. I'm going to be okay, but I'm going to take out everybody else in my neighborhood. So the ones I'm not selling poison to, I'm going to beef with the other ones over the territory to sell the drugs to. So, and it's all us. It's like we don't do this to nobody else. Like that's deep for us to identify with the person that we're poisoning and the person that we're pointing our gun at and the person that we're taking from, robbing from, and they look just like us. So when you're on these quests and on these missions, they look just like you. So you're looking for yourself, right? And then on top of that, so when you're on the other side of it, right? So when somebody trying to shoot you or rob you or sell you drugs, because the only life after selling drugs is using it or in prison, right? Because you start suffering from PTSD as a drug dealer. It's no way none of all those things can't start messing with your mind. So when you're on the other side of that, like I was saying, it becomes comfortable. It's easy to be a crackhead. It's easy to be a pill head. It's easy to be a weed head because I've served them. So I was them while I was doing it. I just was on the other side of it, right? So what I'm saying that is, let's start identifying that we're doing this to ourselves. man, it's just so much life to live and so many things to be happy for and proud of, and things, I want to say this to to the fathers out there too, because I am a father. You don't have to give up using drugs, using things like that to cope with the disconnect with your children. Maybe you're going through baby mama drama. Maybe you just don't have it, right? Us men, if we don't have it, we don't want to come around. But what I can say from experience is that doesn't make it no better. The kids continue to grow smarter, and then you build trauma for them, right? And then you become part of their trauma. So not only do you affect their youth, but you affect their adulthood too. So fathers, let's realize that we're very, very important. I know 80, I think the statistic is over 80% of males 16 and over that use drugs, turn to drugs because of a bad relationship, a woman, right? Women are important to men. I think men love harder. I think, when a man takes responsibility, whether he fails or whether he succeeds, he takes that responsibility and he wears it on his shoulder.